Bon après-midi à tous et bienvenue à cette rencontre du Comité de dérogation pour la Ville d'Ottawa. Welcome everyone to this hearing of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Ottawa. We're panel 1 for the urban area. This panel and the 3 panels that comprise the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Ottawa is a quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances and consents to sever land, which is by far the more common applications that we get. We're back to being in person, but if anyone wants to participate remotely, and I think we do have a few people today, all you need to do is to speak with our committee staff about getting links to participate. You are being live streamed on YouTube, and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public on the committee's website. My name is Anne Tremblay, and with me today is, starting on my left, Member Keklikan, Member Haskin, Member Lecueilly, and online we've got Member Blatherwick. All right, so in terms of procedure, we have an agenda. We have a very short agenda today, and we have a number of items that are on our unopposed list. So we're going to deal with those first and then move on to the applications for which we need to hear some presentations. The panel members have all reviewed the materials related to the applications before we get in here. In fact, we do have a pre-meet and catch up on the very latest of information. And we do read all of the comments either in support or in opposition. So today we really do want to hear oral submissions from anyone who may have an interest in the application and who would like to address the committee. As part of the statutory public information or notification requirements, each applicant is required to post a sign on the property, and we have all of those statutory declarations, so I don't need to go into that. So how we typically proceed is we'll start with the unopposed, which means I don't need to see the client, the agents or the applicant in front of us. We'll simply deal with them. In this case today, we're gonna deal them in 2 parts, but typically we deal with them in 1 part only. And then for applications that are the ones that we're going to hear, we either can ask just questions, go directly to questions and get clarification from staff, and then we open it up to the public, or we can ask for a full presentation from the applicant or agent. And we will be doing that today. So after we've had a chance to hear the presentations, get clarification about the application, then we open it up to the public so that we can hear from anyone who does want to address the committee. After all that's done, the committee may have some follow-on questions to our speakers or to the applicant or even staff. And from that part on, then we once we've concluded that portion, we give the applicant an opportunity to recap or rebut some of the information that's been provided, and then we can move to a decision. Now, we can either grant the application, we can deny the application, or we can reserve the application. And when we reserve, It just means that we've typically heard more evidence that we hadn't heard before, and we want a chance to deliberate longer on that information. So we reserve, regroup, and then make a decision before we leave here today. In all cases, and within 10 days of this hearing, a official written decision is provided, and the reasons are outlined in those decisions. So if you have an interest or would like to get a copy of that decision, you just need to ask our committee staff. All right, so we typically then go to some matters of business, but we don't actually have other than declarations of conflict of interest. So I'm just going to make a call out for any of the agenda items for any of the three panels. Anyone? Yes, Member Keklikan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 3, that's 447 Daly Avenue, is situated in my community. So for the purpose of avoiding any perceived conflict, I will recuse myself from any discussion or debate on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, then moving on, we do not have any withdrawals, adjournments, or we don't have anything that keeps us from going directly to our unopposed, which is what we're going to do. So on the unopposed list, we have applications 2, 3, and 4. So let me deal with them separately, though. So I'm going to deal with application 2 and 4. So 256 Northwestern Avenue and also 5 Ladouceur. So I don't need to hear see the applicants for this. Just need to get a decision from our committee. There's no questions from the committee at all at this point. Just need to hear all in favor of applications 2 and 4.
That's fine.
All right, so with that, those two applications are unanimously granted. I'm going to go to number 3 now and give Member Keklikan, if he'd like to it's going to go fast on this, so but just for optics, make sure that he's not involved in the decision in any way. So on this application for 447 Daly Avenue, again, it's on the unopposed, so we can go straight to a decision on this. All those in favor? All right, again, for the record, the application is unanimously granted. Okay, so that leaves us with applications number 1 and 5. So we're going to go straight to number 1 for 50 Maple Lane, looking for Agent Paquette. Good afternoon.
Bonjour, Madame la Présidente, members of committee.
Bonjour. We do need a presentation from you, if that's all right. And I believe staff have your presentation already.
Yes, thank you.
While your presentation's coming up, I just thought maybe we can take care of a little housekeeping amendment on this. Our understanding is that we're changing the road widening relief required from, pardon me, it's the condition. Just want to make sure that we're clear. It's condition number 3 that has to do with the road widening for Maple Lane, which I believe reads today a request for 18 meters, and we're changing that to 3 meters. Are you aware of that change?
Yes, Madam Chair, I am aware of it, and we are okay with the change.
All right, perfect. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if the deck is available, but
Madam Chair, we did not receive a deck from the applicant.
I
Did
thought
you send it to the Committee of Adjustment main inbox?
sent it to Sarah.
Okay. We do have the draft reference plan handy. We can
You know
pull it
what?
up now.
All I need is the
Yeah.
You know what? In a pinch, let's work with the draft reference plan because that really does tell the story in any event. Sorry about that. Okay, well, effectively, what is before you is an application to sever a portion of the property known as 50 and 52 Maple Avenue. It has 2 municipal addresses for reasons I don't know why, but nonetheless, and the property is configured in an L shape, has frontage on Maple Avenue, and it has frontage on Springfield. And the former owner sold to my client. It was I think it was Les Sœurs de la Visitation, who were the residents of that building for many years, retired nuns. Sold to the Saint Laurent Academy, which is a private school. So they're currently occupying the building in question. They, in turn, and prior to them acquiring the land, the sisters, the nuns, had a lease agreement, which is currently in place for a portion of the property. The portion that is proposed to be severed is under a lease agreement with the Ottawa Catholic English School Board for their elementary school on the adjacent land at 200 Springfield, which is shown also on that reference plan in the top right-hand corner. So that school is and has been using the block of land known as Part 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's chopped up because there's a hydro corridor in there, but basically those 4 parts constitute the piece that is being used as a schoolyard. So the kids from St. Brigid Elementary School make use of that space and have been for quite a bit as a recess and recreational space. When I got involved, the Saint Laurent Academy advised me that they had entered into a purchase and sale agreement with that piece of land. I'm not going to pretend to know what triggered what, but at the end of the day, there's a desire to transfer this piece of land so that it won't just be a lease, it'll be an outright sale to the English Catholic School Board for their exclusive use, as we understand to be the continuation of a schoolyard. So the severance before you is all of that in the mix, is basically the division of land to create parts 2, 3, 4, and 5 for transfer effectively to the English Catholic School Board. And my client would retain the balance, which provides them sufficient land for recreational space at the south end, which is vacant land. We've reviewed the conditions. We've been asked for basically, there's 2 major conditions that we discussed. One is the extent, they would like a widening on Springfield, 12 meters from center line. I don't have a reference plan to nail that down. However, I do know roughly what that looks like based on the taking they've secured from lands to the south. And they also want a widening on Maple Avenue. And it's measured 3 meters from the south limit of the current road allowance, which is fine because I was worried at one point it would be too much and it would put my client into a non-conforming situation zoning-wise. But we've discussed it with staff. The number is 3 meters, and we won't trigger a zoning compliance issue. They've provided me the details of the section in the zoning bylaw, which give us a safety net, if you wish, of compliance. So on that front, we are now in a position to say we're okay with the conditions. We're here to answer any questions you might have, including members of the public who I understand have sent a letter, or there's at least one letter that I'm aware of. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paquette. I do have a couple of questions about the technical aspects of the survey plan itself. So can we bring the survey plan back up and can we zero in on parcel number 2, that portion? So if we could just expand that. All right, so we're talking about part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. All of that makes sense to me. We've got, though, that hydro easement. Is that what that is that's going through the property?
Correct.
Okay. And am I not seeing this correctly? So is there a part number for that easement? Maybe I've missed it.
Yeah, the part 4, okay, you know what, it's tough right now because I do have a clean copy right here.
Part 3.
Okay, let me just have a look here.
Okay, I think it's part 3. It's not clear on the version I have.
Okay.
I couldn't see it that well, but if you can confirm to me that part 3 is in fact that easement?
Yeah, and I apologize, the graphics are a little grainy on the screen, but right in front of me is a clean copy of the reference plan. Part 3 is in fact the hydro corridor, and Part 4 is the remnant of the, to the west side, and Part 5 rather, is the chunk to the east side, southeast side. So, but to answer your question, Part 3 is the hydro corridor.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that, because it wasn't clear even on, you know, in your report that, for whatever reason, maybe it's my eyes, I don't know, but I couldn't actually see where it was pointing to, so I just wanted to confirm that with you. I just have a sort of a technical question for our Deputy Secretary Treasurer though on this, because typically when we're dealing with consents, we articulate the consent of land, but also the consent of easements. And in this case, it's not in the notice. Do we need to do anything just to make sure that it's very clear for the record?
There is no consent to easement in this case, Madam Chair. That easement to hydro is existing and will continue to exist.
Okay, so we don't need to identify it as part of the transfer of lands, that it's an easement that's being transferred. Okay, that's fine. I think I understand. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss that, because sometimes we see that as two different components. So I just didn't want to, you know, just wanted to stay consistent with the way we've dealt with things before. But if it's fine, then great. With that, then I'm going to let the panel members ask any questions that they may have. Anyone? Wow, okay. That's very clear. Okay, so you're good with all of the conditions, including condition number 2? I was kind of curious as to, you know, are you aware as to whether or not there are any storm or sanitary or water services going through the property now?
That is a leap of faith we're ready to take. I mean, we've consulted with our client. We certainly have our own lateral connections to the service mains out to the street. And I'm getting it verbally that the school has their own as well. So I don't think it'll be difficult to satisfy the condition to confirm that each property stands alone as serviced lots. We don't anticipate that to be difficult to clear.
All right, okay, thank you, because it is vacant, and so I thought, normally, as you said, the connections are to the buildings that off the roads, so anyway, okay, so if you're good with it, that's all fine. We've already made the housekeeping change to condition number 3, so with that then, there's no questions from the panel and no clarification required. Gonna go to the public, so we do we? Hang on, let me just check my speakers list on this. Okay, so we have 2 residents that are on my speakers list. I'm going to start with a Mr. or Mrs. Delacourt. Do we have that resident? On my notes, it says remote.
Madam Chair, they're not online.
All right, okay, thank you. Then I'm going to go to, I think it's a Mr. Murray who's in person. Come on down then, Mr. Murray. Good afternoon. So we already have then your name and your municipal address, I believe, so I don't think I need you to read that into the record. Okay, that's good. So you have 5 minutes. Go ahead, Mr. Murray. Yeah, we do have it.
I sent an email in yesterday. Could you pull up the site plan again, the ref survey plan? I could help explain. Maybe you can back it up a bit there. I live opposite the previous nuns residence, and opposite St. Bridget's School, which is on Maple Lane. There are about 4 or 5 houses facing the nuns residence, which is now Saint Laurent Academy. My objection to severing off that piece of land is that with the previously, I've been there almost 30 years, we had retired nuns on the property. And it's a really beautiful bucolic setting with landscape trees and so on. When Saint Laurent Academy came in, at the upper right on the plan up there, they cut down several trees, put in a parking lot for 4 school buses, which were up front, parked up front now, which was, you know, a park setting beforehand. What I'm worried about is that it's now a gong show in the morning for traffic, and in the afternoon, all the kids get dropped off for St. Bridget's School, currently now along Maple Lane. Now you have all the school population, about 600 or 700 kids, plus the staff and so on, coming out to Maple Lane. And what I was surprised is that the school was able to put in a parking lot for buses out front, no consultation to the surrounding neighbors, absolutely nothing, and apparently it was done through a building permit, which I find hard to believe that you could put a parking lot for buses without, you know, a site plan consultation or a traffic impact study. So I'm worried now that this piece of land that has access out to Springfield on the right-hand side, which is an arterial bus route number 6, will give the opportunity. This school will grow over time and will allow to put the traffic out onto Springfield, as opposed to pushing everything out onto a small residential street on Maple Lane. So that was my objection. And I have, you know, I dropped off my email to my neighbor, Diane Orange, who lives directly opposite there. And, you know, her comment back to me says, "Thank you for attending the committee. I support your position. The situation is quite a mess and dangerous for all. Lack of planning, traffic design, and consultation by the institution unacceptable." So there, I mean, I also have the Prime Minister's residence as well opposite his private house. I'm not representing him by any means. So it's just, they've come in, they shoehorned in the school program, and I just think before it's just given off. I understand my wife was a teacher at St. Bridget's. My children went to St. Bridget's. I understand the need for the school extra land for the school, the Catholic school. But once that land is severed off, given away, there's no opportunity to egress and access and egress from the school. It's worth, I mean, the committee, I don't know if the committee lives in that neighborhood, but it's worth seeing the show in the morning. It's only started yesterday since they moved in. It's a gong show. I mean, there's people backing up, people stop. It's incredible. So that's primarily my objection. The school, the new school came in. I applaud the school coming. It's great. But the way they did their work, no posting the tree permits, putting in 4 school buses out front arbitrarily. So I have an issue with, and that's my primary objection, is that there should be some study or a reserve to allow access and egress onto a busier street on Springfield Road, and whether you can shift the lines or to the property. So that's my points. Yeah, and there was, my thing is, there's been absolutely no consultation from the school to the existing neighbors. All of a sudden this happened. And now I understand this has to go through a committee of adjustment that has to be promoted. I didn't see the signs posted. You usually see the committee of adjustment signs put up. I never saw those posted, or whether that was photographs usually sent in to the committee to say, yes, we posted the sign and so on. So that's my primary objection, is that once that land is gone, all the traffic in and out for the next, whatever, 50 years or whatever, will be coming onto the tiny street of Maple Lane.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Murray. So many of the things that you've raised is outside of the committee's purview completely. So we don't deal with site plans. We deal with development only when there are minor variances required. And in this case, we have a lot line adjustment. It's not even the creation of a new lot. And from the material that we've been provided, the intent is to keep that parcel to be used as a schoolyard. So I can ask Mr. Paquette just to confirm that, but that's definitely what's in our material.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, my understanding is that the piece of land that is intended to be conveyed is and will continue to be used as a schoolyard. If that's your question, that's my answer.
All right, okay. I just wanted to make sure that that's our correct understanding of it. If ever there were a move by the school to access out of, like, onto Springhurst, is it Springhurst?
Springfield.
There would have to go through, there's different processes in the city that they would have to follow in order to get those, get the ability to access directly onto Springfield. So again, not part of our jurisdiction at this point. What we're being asked is consider a lot line adjustment to continue the use as it is. So and I'm going to ask any members of the panel have questions for Mr. Murray? No? Yes, the member Dickey, go ahead, please.
No question, just a comment. I've heard these concerns. I have a friend who happened to be chit-chatting, and her daughter goes to St. Laurent Academy and has confirmed. So I confirm that what you're describing is a challenge.
It's only day 2, so I mean, I give some time to adjust, but it is just, there's a lot of traffic out there. And
unfortunately, like the chair said, is outside our purview, but is there something that which appropriate channel from the city for a resident to relay concerns about that? I don't know where that might be.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to Ms. Horn. I think Ms. Horn on this file, just a minute. Ms. Horn. No, it was actually Mr. Gildert, or do we? Yes, okay. Sorry. So Mr. Gildert, can you please provide us a little bit of insight as to what the process might be if a resident wanted to be able to monitor that possibility?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I don't have the answer right now, but I can always get a hold of the resident and provide them more information following this meeting.
That's perfect. I think that would be the best I think we can offer you, is so that you have at least some comfort that there is a process that you can monitor and then maybe participate in at some point.
Are you able to, Mr. Gilhart, say why there's no traffic impact assessment done?
I'm not able to comment on that today, no, unfortunately.
There's no development that is part of this application, so those are not even.
Yes, yeah. I mean, but they're tied together. I know this is a separate item, yes.
Okay. Any other questions then? All right. I'm going to go back to seeing whether or not we have the first speaker, Delcourt. Do we?
Madam Chair, we do not have that speaker, but I see someone else with their hand up.
All right, then let's go to that person. Going to need your full name and your municipal address, please, if you could. So I'm speaking to the name I'm seeing is Bilko Cutlaris. Sorry, I'm sure I'm getting that wrong, but could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Bill Cocolaris. I'm the CEO and Director of St. Laurent Academy. I just wanted to share some more information, even though it's not part of the application process, just to appease the committee and provide a little bit more feedback on our planning. We have had extensive planning and research regarding our property and the traffic. If Mr. Murray would like to discuss that with Councillor King, our councillor did come to our school. We have had several conversations on the implementation and the safety precautions that we took on when we came and took occupancy since March, and how we took off from the street the traffic and implemented 4 drop-off zones onto our property, and the bus lane that I understand is not part of this process, but just to support further the message that was to enhance again traffic onto our building and not onto Maple Lane property. So again, Councillor King maybe would be a great reference, Mr. Murray, if you wish to consult with him, and because he has had extensive opportunities and a layout of our property that we consulted together, and he felt very confident on the steps that we took in supporting the traffic during drop off and pickup time. Thank you.
Thank you for that suggestion and offer. And Mr. Murray, I would suggest that you take this gentleman up on that offer.
We
And
tried several times with Councillor King, but very little information. Like certainly no drawings, no pre-consultation, but thank you, Bill.
all right, okay, thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience either here today? I don't believe so, but online? No, all right, we have no one else then to speak to this matter. Members, I think we can go to a vote on this. So I'm going to give Mr. Paquette just a couple of minutes if he wanted to recap before we go to a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, effectively, the applicant is in favor of the proposed conditions of approval. The severance is as we described it and as we discussed it. I've got nothing really else to add unless you've got a question of me, and I'm happy to answer it.
No, I think the committee is good at this point, so we're just going to go to a vote then. All those in favor? All right, so for the record, it's unanimous. The application is granted. So thank you, Mr. Paquette, for your time and explanations today.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to our last application, which is for 200 Durocher. Looking for Agent Russell. Come on down. Good afternoon. So I think we saw you in July. So this is, I think it was July. I'm looking at the dates that's on my notes. So I think, or even was it August 27th, I guess, then when you came. All right. So not sure why I've got two dates, but
I was in July as well.
oh, you were here in July as well. Ah, okay. Well, now I hear you have a presentation. So we're going to ask you to run through that if you could, please.
Thank you. So this is the minor variance application. I've never done a presentation like this, so I'm just going to read off the slide. Let me know if there's something else I should be doing.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
okay,
if whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're converting an existing building from non-conforming use to use. So the ground floor has been lots of things, including a butcher over the years. It's been for decades. And we're going to bring it into conforming multi-residential buildings, so adding residential instead of the commercial space. Yeah, so the highlights of that are definitely, thank you, sorry. There's no side change to the building, it's just internal footprint. So the requested variance and setbacks, we need the front yard setback, corner yard setback, rear yard setback. The window coverage is on the front. And then the no front facade recession. And again, all of those are just because we're not changing the actual footprint of the building. The front windows, we did our best to increase as many as possible. The design of the building on the inside means that like from bathrooms and walls and just the things that are going to be existing, we can't add more than we have. And we did increase them significantly since the last time I was here. The motor vehicle space, we're not planning on having a parking spot permanently. However, we do have a lane for garbage removal. And so I like just being aware of how things are. I'm sure people are going to use it for parking if they're dropping off Amazon. From like all of the things, there's going to be social workers, all that kind of stuff that might be around, even myself if I just pull in work crews. So I just wanted to not pretend that I'm not going to be doing that. And then the solid fixtures is in the front. That's because it's off Durocher where the garbage access will be. And then we did add a solid fixture off the Champ though, to make sure that it's just the one avenue. The 4 tests, minor in nature, the variances are technical, reflect pre-existing conditions. The desirable improves functionality, supports intensification, and brings the building into conformity. General intent of bylaw aligns with the R4UD, so infill increases housing, affordable housing specifically, and general intent of official plan promotes the infill and affordable housing. I'm skipping back and forth apparently in my going from memory. Sorry. Thank you. So we are adding a lot of green space where there's 0 now. Everything's asphalt and stone. We're adding the bicycle parking. We are making sure that there's snow storage in the maintenance area so that we don't have any. So we're actually reducing the impact from the previous owner and stuff. The only existing driveway is going to exist, like I said, just for the garbage truck. And we want that back so that doesn't become a problem for neighbors or anything else, so that it's built in. And then I mentioned the waste recycling and the trades as well. So this is the layout. Conclusion brings longstanding. Do you have any questions about that? I think that's.
Yeah, the site plan. Can we have the site plan back up, please? Thanks. Did you just want to walk us through that site plan? Then, in particular, we talked about the permanent planters. So,
I can't see it there, but in the top left corner, we added a planter right at the corner of the building to make sure that where all that's going to be there. Thank you. Where the grass is, that nobody will be able to pull in, make that a parking lot and destroy the landscape that we're going to do. And then all of in the back there, so the rear of the building, we're going to make sure that we have lots of soft landscaping and try to create some more habitable spaces for people to enjoy that.
is that the change to the site plan that occurred just the
2
day?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, any questions then from our panel? Can I have the gallery view back, please? All right, any questions from anybody? I just wanted to have a housekeeping matter with you. So it's just so that we can read this into the record. So to variance G that was in the notice, it's now going to read to permit windows to comprise, and we're striking out 12.7% and replacing it with 17% of the front facade. Whereas the bylaw requires the front facade to comprise at least 25% windows, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're actually deleting variance H at this point.
That's
Is
right.
that correct? Okay. All right. Opening for questions here, because I know we did have some discussion. So Member Blatherwick.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, in our conditions, and Mr. Russell, you're aware of our conditions, whether we should not also add a condition that the variance is granted for the life of the building.
Sorry, you're adding to make it more extreme so that it's for the life of the building?
Correct.
Okay, and the only difference to
Yep.
that, in my opinion, would be is if something needed to change in the future, we'd have to come back to the committee. Is that right?
Well, it means that the variances stand as long as that building is in place. That building comes down, those variances disappear because they're pretty tight. You're pretty tight to the street. I'm assuming that building is going to be there for quite a while since you're putting a 3rd floor on it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm asking the members of the committee to agree with me to extend the condition for the life of the building on the variances, which is
All right.
something to do on a standard basis, quite frankly, on older buildings like this that are converted.
So I'm just going to look to our Deputy Secretary Treasurer, because I believe we can do this through an administrative condition, I believe.
That's correct. It would be a committee imposed condition and it will be included on the final decision.
Yeah.
So you just need us to concur with Member Blatherwick?
That's correct. Just verbally on the floor is fine.
I concur.
I concur.
Yeah, same here.
All right, looks like we're moving forward with that one. All right, excellent. Any other questions then for Agent? Yes, Member Lecuyer, go ahead, please.
Just curious if I think the last time we were here, we weren't sure if A was required. So now that we've seen the site plan with the flower box or planter box, do we still need variance A?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not the front of the building.
The way it's read here, to permit no permanent fixtures in the front or corner side yards. So is it because it's a corner lot and it's, okay, just confirm, and that's confirmed by planning?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good to go.
Okay, any other questions then from members? All right, and sorry, Mr. Russell, you said you're in support of the conditions as they're presented in the report?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, all right.
Sorry to interrupt, Madam Chair. I was wondering if we could get clarification from planning just on the wording of variance A. Should it specify only the corner side yard instead of the front and corner side yard? One side now has a planter.
All right, that's a good question. Looking to Ms. Horn then for that answer. Any revisions to the wording?
Thank you. So staff would be supportive of changing the wording to acknowledge that there's a planter now on the corner side yard. And there would still be access on the along the front yard, which is Durocher.
Okay.
So let me read it into the record then, just to make sure that we're all clear. So A will now read to permit no permanent fixtures in the front yard to prevent motor vehicle parking, whereas the bylaw and the rest stays the same. Is that correct, Ms. Horn?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, I think we're in agreement with that. Perfect. And to our agent, you're in agreement with that as well?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, that then takes me to speakers list. Just a moment. It got buried in here somehow. Just a moment. I've got it in here. Don't think we had anybody for this spot. No, we don't. We don't have anyone on this item. So I'm going to make a call out. There's nobody left in the audience here. Is there anyone online who would like to speak to the committee?
No, Madam Chair, no one online.
All right. Well, with that then, Mr. Russell, the floor is back to you to recap on the application or add any information that you would like to discuss or emphasize. It's up to you.
I appreciate the opportunity. I think I've expressed everything and we've gone through this. And unless there's a question I can answer for you, which I think we went through.
I think we're good at this point, which I think means that we're at the point where we can make a decision. So all those in favor of the application? Yeah, again, for the record, it's unanimous. The application is granted, subject to the conditions and the modifications made to the application. So thank you very much for your time today. And with that, if there's no other business, calling the meeting adjourned. All right, thank you.